All right, everyone. So today I want to talk about what's going to be one of the most awesome features in the game if you just don't like the idea of leveling up alts, having to do quests, and going back through and redoing the main story, because I have fantastic news. You do get 2 free power passes in-game, which allow you to boost a character up to level 50 without having to do the main story. But you might be wondering, after I've used those, do I now have to go back and redo the story on any new alts that I want to make? Do I have to go back through and manually do the grind of 1 to 50? And the answer to that is no. Even after you've used your 2 Vern power passes, and I'm not going to really get too into detail on that because I already have another video talking about the power passes, but even after you've used those, you can still end up boosting your alts to level 50, skipping quests, skipping the main story, and getting right to the point in the game where you can start doing your chaos dungeons and funneling materials from your alts over to your main. So you can do this with an in-game feature called knowledge transfer, and I want to talk about exactly how to do this, as well as, very importantly, a very big mistake. With knowledge transfer, there's going to be multiple different options, and I'll show you here in a second. You only ever want to do the very first one. It costs 600 gold. The other knowledge transfer options cost more gold, I think like 1,000 plus gold. Stay away from those. The only one that you want to ever do is the very first one, and that's going to be the one that takes your alts from this point in the game where I'm at right now, all the way through the main story, up to level 50, and basically up to item level 302, right to the point where you can start doing chaos dungeons. It basically functions like another Vern power pass, except the difference is this one costs 600 gold. You get 2 Vern power passes for free, so you do have to pay gold for this, and you also have to wait 8 hours for it to complete. But you don't have to do anything during those 8 hours. You just basically wait, and then as soon as it's over, your character is level 50, ready to go start into chaos dungeons. So let me explain how to actually do this, as well as the knowledge transfers that you want to avoid. So basically, when you start your character just like a brand new character. So go in, you do the little mini intro with Beatrice and Trixium. You have to go and save Armin, kill a couple of dudes, zombies, whatever, ride on his cart, basically like the 5-minute intro to where you get to Prideholm. Then the game drops you off at Prideholm right here, and you want to just do the main story, just this part right here. Just go talk to a couple NPCs. I know you have to go just to the bar. You got to talk to a couple of NPCs. You unlock your triport, and you want to get to the point where you unlock your sheet music. The game will actually give you a sheet music to right click it. That's the point where you can stop. You now know that you're done. You don't have to do any more quests again. From the point that you start your character up to the point that you unlock your sheet music takes literally 5-10 minutes at the absolute most. It's super, super quick, and that's it. Once you get to that point, and this should actually be the very quest that you can stop at, once you get to Legends and Fairy Tales, talk to the Bard Sierra, you could stop at that point. You're far enough now to where you can actually use the knowledge transfer system, pay 600 gold, and completely skip the entire rest of the story up until you're level 50, item level 302. So what you want to do when you get to this point now is you want to go to your sheet music and you want to play the song that moves you to your stronghold. You need to be able to access the stronghold in order to do this. This is why up until this point you do have to do the story until you unlock your sheet music, because what you want to do is you just want to simply move to your stronghold, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, once you end up moving to your stronghold, there's going to be a feature called Knowledge, and you'll actually see it here in your little menu. If you've been playing your main character, if you've done the little intro series in the stronghold, you basically should have this unlocked. There's a little tiny mini quest that you have to do inside your stronghold, but all you have to do is just talk to a couple NPCs. It's super, super easy to unlock. So if you've been keeping up with your stronghold, you should have this feature unlocked, no problem. So we're just going to go to our management here, and you can see it. We've got the lab, workshop, station, manor, and to the very right, you have this feature called Knowledge. This is what you're going to utilize, and you're just going to click this, and it's going to be the very first one. You could see it only requires an item level 10. Basically, the only thing you need to do is move your character to the stronghold. The second that you can move a level 10 alt to the stronghold, you can start doing this knowledge transfer. And it's going to cost 600 gold, and it's going to take 8 hours. Once this 8 hours is done, it's basically like you just used another Vern power pass. Your character is level 50, and it's ready to go straight into Chaos Dungeons, item level 302, good to go. So the ones that you want to avoid, though, and this is a huge, huge trap, especially for new players, is the next set of knowledge transfers. And in order to understand why this is a mistake, I'll just kind of explain what the knowledge transfer is. This is just a good way to think about it. Basically, the knowledge transfer is just skipping parts of the story. You are transferring knowledge that you have already completed, and you are transferring it to an alt. So you unlock this. We already did this main story, which is what takes you from level 10 to level 50. We already did it on our main character. So now it's basically like we are taking all that main story that we did on our main character, and we are now transferring it to an alt. And doing the main story, though, it just so happens that it's going to level you up to 50, right? When you did the main story, it leveled you up. It gets you to level 50, right? So that's going to be all the way up through Vern. Once you get to Vern, that's where you're basically level 50. You start unlocking all the level 50 stuff, Chaos Dungeons, Abyss Dungeons, that sort of stuff. You've now transferred all of your main story progress over to your alt, which subsequently gets it to 50. Now, the previous ones, there is still main story in Rohendel. If you've done Rohendel on your main character, you know, there's a bit of a story there. Then there's more story in Yorn. There's more story in Phaeton. These cost a lot more gold. This very first knowledge transfer costs 600 gold to transfer the story progress up to Vern, which also takes your alts to level 10 to 50. You can kind of just think of it as like it's a side effect that when using this knowledge transfer, it also takes your alts to level 50, but you're just transferring main story progress from your main character to your alt. You can do the same thing with Rohendel, Yorn, and Phaeton, but this doesn't do anything else to your character level. It doesn't actually do anything to your item level either. In fact, you need to get to a certain item level to do that. And basically what this does is if you've gone through Rohendel, which takes maybe like an hour to 3 hours or so, between 1 to 3 hours, depending on the pace that you do it, it allows you to do the same thing with Rohendel as the main story and transfer your knowledge and basically skip Rohendel on your alts. But you're paying 1,000 gold to do this. You need to be item level 460, and all it does is save you a couple hours of time. It doesn't give you any extra levels. It doesn't give you any extra gear, and it costs 1,000 gold. So don't do this one. I don't know if it ever becomes worth doing later on, maybe when the game is a lot more advanced and 1,000 gold isn't really worth that much, but especially right now, like 1,000 gold is worth a lot. Skipping just a couple hours of the Rohendel story for 1,000 gold, that's 2 alts that you could basically power level and boost to level 50 without having to do any of the main story. It's just definitely not worth it. So any of these knowledge transfers later on, just skip them. Don't do them. Don't even look at them. The only one that you need to worry about is this one right here, the North Vern knowledge transfer. So I'm going to start this right now. We're going to click the button. I've got enough gold. And basically, in 8 hours, perform knowledge transfer of not salt-free North Vern continent. You can play the game as normal even during knowledge transfer. Regions completed using knowledge transfer do not provide story express event rewards. Okay, that makes sense. We're going to click the OK button. And now, basically, in 8 hours, I can do whatever I want on my main characters. I could even do whatever I want on this character, but obviously, I don't want to do anything because I'm paying money to skip the story, so why would I want to play this character? But in 8 hours, this character will be level 50, just like I used the Vern Power Pass, ready to go straight into Chaos Dungeons. So if you've got the gold, this is absolutely worth it. If you're wondering, is this a good use of gold? Yes, in fact, it's probably one of the best, if not the best uses of gold right now. It is absolutely worth it. So after you've used your 2 Vern Power Passes, this is another great way to keep making alts, keep making progress, because more alts equals more Chaos Dungeon runs, more progress, and more materials that you can funnel to your main character, which means more progress on your main. So that's about it, really. I wanted to explain this in a bit more detail so you can get a better understanding of how it actually works and why you want to stay away from the other ones. And now you guys know. Hopefully you're able to keep chugging away and keep powering out the alts, keep making a whole bunch of them, and hopefully you're making good progress in the game. So that's about it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. If you enjoyed, leave a like, consider subscribing for more, and until next time.